As we grow older, we often try to do everything right. We take our vitamins, we eat the best we can, we listen to the advice of doctors, friends, and well-meaning experts. We search for the right routines, the right habits, the right supplements, hoping they'll carry us into a stronger, healthier future. But what if, without even realizing it, some of the very things we count on are quietly doing the opposite? What if some of the supplements we rely on so faithfully are, little by little, making our bones weaker, not stronger? This video isn't here to scare you. It's here to shine a gentle light on things most of us were never told. Because there's so much health advice out there, some of it helpful, some of it confusing, and it's easy to overlook what truly matters. Your bones are more than just a framework. They are the silent strength beneath every step you take, every embrace you give, every moment you live. They carry not just your body, but your story, years of laughter, movement, resilience, and love. And they deserve protection. Understanding how to care for them isn't just about avoiding fractures or pain. It's about preserving your freedom, your energy, your ability to live life on your own terms for years to come. So let's pause for a moment. Let's clear away the noise and the myths. And let's walk together gently, thoughtfully through the 6 common supplement mistakes that could be quietly harming your bones. Because your future self will thank you for every small, wise step you take today. And every strong bone begins with a bit of understanding. 6. Too much calcium, too little balance. Many of us were told for decades, take calcium for strong bones. It was simple advice, passed down from doctors, parents, and health magazines. And while that advice isn't exactly wrong, it's not the full story. Take Margaret, 68 years old. Every morning, without fail, she sat at her kitchen table, the soft morning light spilling through the window. In her hand, a single, large calcium pill. She took it with her tea, thinking of her mother who had struggled with osteoporosis. She believed she was doing the right thing, protecting her future. But what Margaret didn't know was that calcium doesn't work alone. Without enough magnesium, without vitamin D3 to absorb it, and without K2 to direct it, that calcium can end up in the wrong places. Not in the bones where it's needed, but in the soft tissues, the joints, and most dangerously, the arteries. Instead of strengthening her bones, Margaret's well-intentioned habit was slowly contributing to a different kind of risk. You see, our bones need balance, not just quantity. Calcium works in harmony with magnesium, with vitamin D3 to help it absorb into the body, and with K2 to make sure it goes into the bones, not the blood vessels. It's a delicate dance of nutrients, and each one plays a vital part. More isn't always better. What matters is how things work together. Because your body is wiser than trends and it thrives on balance, not blind trust in outdated advice. So if you've been told, just take calcium, take a moment to consider the full picture. Give your bones the team they need to stay strong and resilient. And remember, doing what's best for your body isn't always about more. It's about smarter. Your future self will thank you for choosing thoughtful balance over outdated routines. 5. High-dose vitamin A, a hidden bone thief. Few people realize that something so small, a vitamin we often associate with good vision and healthy skin, could quietly weaken our bones from the inside out. But it happens more often than you'd think. Meet Robert, a retired schoolteacher who just turned 70. He spent his life helping others learn, guiding young minds through literature, math, and history. Now, in his quiet retirement, he was turning his attention inward, doing his best to take care of his health. He picked up a multivitamin at the store. It promised to support everything from energy to eyesight. And like many, he trusted the label. Each day, he took it with his breakfast, never thinking twice. But slowly, almost imperceptibly, something began to change. His regular checkup showed that his bone density had dropped more than expected for his age. There were no falls, no injuries, just a gradual weakening. It didn't make sense until one sharp-eyed doctor took a closer look at his supplements. Hidden in plain sight was the culprit, high-dose vitamin A. Not from carrots or sweet potatoes, but from synthetic or animal-based sources, like retinol palmitate and fish liver oil. At high levels, vitamin A can interfere with the way vitamin D works in the body and accelerate the breakdown of bone tissue. And Robert's story is not unique. This form of vitamin A still lurks in many outdated multivitamins and even in some health-boosting oils marketed toward older adults. The truth is, our bodies need vitamin A, but in the right amounts and from the right sources. So what's the lesson here? Always check your labels. Read the fine print, even if it takes an extra minute. And when in doubt, nature provides safer sources like beta-carotene from colorful vegetables. Your body converts it gently, only taking what it needs and leaves the rest behind. In a world full of promises in small bottles, it's easy to think more is better. But with bone health, the opposite is often true. Sometimes, the greatest strength comes from simplicity and awareness. Your bones work quietly, every day, to hold you up. Give them the care they deserve not by overwhelming them, but by nourishing them wisely. Your future self will thank you for choosing knowledge over assumption and for seeing what others often overlook. 4. Iron supplements when you don't really need them. Iron is essential for energy, for healthy blood, for carrying oxygen through the body. But like many good things, it becomes dangerous in excess. And sadly, for many older adults, too much iron isn't just common. It's quietly harmful. Linda, 66, had always been active. She loved gardening, early morning walks, and spending time with her grandkids. But one spring, she started feeling unusually tired. Not just the usual fatigue, but a deep kind of weariness that didn't go away with sleep. She chalked it up to age until a friend suggested iron supplements. "It helped me," her friend said. So Linda bought a bottle, thinking it was a simple fix. She took it daily, hoping her energy would return. But weeks turned into months, and something wasn't right. Instead of feeling better, she developed joint pain in her hands and knees. Her chest felt heavy, and she noticed she was short of breath more often. Finally, at her next doctor visit, she mentioned the supplement. A simple blood test told the story. Her ferritin levels, one of the markers of stored iron, were dangerously high. She didn't have an iron deficiency. She had iron overload. This condition, known as hemochromatosis, is more common than many people realize, especially in older adults, and especially among people with certain genetic traits that make it harder to get rid of excess iron. The damage isn't just to bones either. It can affect joints, the liver, the heart, and even the pancreas. And the most frustrating part? In Linda's case and in so many others, it could have been prevented. She never needed the supplement in the first place. All she needed was a simple test, a moment of clarity before reaching for the bottle. Iron supplementation should never be based on guesswork. It's not a vitamin you take just in case. Because once excess iron builds up, the body has no easy way to get rid of it. The cost can be slow, silent damage over months or even years. So please, before adding iron to your daily routine, ask for a blood test. Let your numbers tell the truth. Let science guide your care. Your body already does so much to support you. Give it the attention and respect it deserves, not by acting out of fear or habit, but with awareness and care. Because strong bones, steady energy, and lasting health all begin with knowing what your body truly needs and what it doesn't. Your future self and your present self will thank you. 3. Excessive zinc throwing off the mineral balance. Zinc is often hailed as a hero of the immune system. It's in cold remedies, throat lozenges, and daily supplements. We're told it can keep us from getting sick, and in many ways, that's true. But like many things in health, the full picture is more complicated. Meet James, 72. A retired engineer, meticulous and thoughtful, James liked to research everything he put in his body. When he read an article claiming zinc could help prevent colds and respiratory infections, it made sense to him. He wanted to stay healthy, especially during winter, so he started taking a high-dose zinc supplement, 50 milligrams every day. At first, he felt fine, even reassured. But as the years passed, something began to shift. Routine scans showed his bone density was dropping faster than expected. He hadn't fallen, wasn't sedentary, and had no history of osteoporosis. His doctors were puzzled. Then, during a deeper lab workup, a clue emerged. James's copper levels were abnormally low. Copper, a trace mineral that doesn't get much attention, is essential for the cross-linking of collagen and elastin in bone. Without enough of it, the structural matrix of bones becomes weak, even brittle. So what happened? Zinc and copper compete for absorption in the small intestine. And when zinc is taken in high amounts, day after day, year after year, it can block copper from being absorbed at all. Over time, this imbalance leads to problems that are hard to trace until damage has already been done. It's like a symphony. Each mineral in your body plays its own quiet part. Too much of one can drown out the others. Zinc, copper, magnesium, calcium, they all need to be in tune, working together to maintain strong bones and resilient health. James's story is a reminder that supplements aren't harmless just because they're sold over the counter. Even well-intentioned habits like boosting immunity can quietly backfire if we lose sight of balance. The key isn't to fear zinc or stop taking care of yourself. The key is moderation, awareness, and intentional wisdom. It's about stepping back from the noise and asking, what does my body truly need? Not based on trends, not on fear, but on understanding. Because the strongest choices aren't always the loudest. They're the most informed. And your bones, along with every other part of you, deserve that care. Your future self will thank you for tuning into balance and turning down the volume on excess. 2. Antacids with aluminum, a silent saboteur. For many older adults, heartburn becomes a familiar companion. That burning sensation after a meal, the discomfort lying down, it's unpleasant, persistent, and often brushed off as a normal part of aging. So it's no surprise that over-the-counter antacids become a daily habit. Small chewable tablets, always within reach in the medicine cabinet, in a purse, beside the bed. They bring fast relief, and they feel harmless. But not all relief comes without a cost. Sylvia, 74, had struggled with acid reflux for nearly a decade. She was active, sharp, and cared deeply about her health. But the reflux wore her down, interrupting sleep, meals, and moments of peace. She found comfort in the little tablets, pale and chalky, offering quick ease after each flare-up. She didn't think twice. What she didn't know, what no one ever told her, is that some antacids contain aluminum. And while the aluminum may help neutralize acid in the stomach, over time, it can interfere with the very processes that keep bones strong. Specifically, aluminum can disrupt the function of osteoblasts, the cells responsible for building new bone tissue. And it doesn't stop there. It can also impair calcium absorption, compounding the risk over the years. Sylvia never imagined her heartburn remedy could be undermining her bones. By the time she was diagnosed with osteopenia, the slow, silent damage had already begun. Thankfully, a caring nutritionist helped her make changes, adjusting her diet, managing reflux naturally, and switching to safer alternatives without aluminum. Gradually, her bone health began to stabilize. But still, it shouldn't have taken years. It shouldn't have required a wake-up call. This is your gentle reminder. Read the fine print. Question the things you've taken for granted. Because the small habits, the ones we repeat without thinking, are often the ones with the biggest long-term impact. Antacids can help, yes. But not all are created equal. And your health, your bones, your strength, your future deserves more than convenience. It deserves awareness. It deserves a second glance. And sometimes, it deserves a second opinion. Because when it comes to protecting your bones, the quiet choices matter. They add up, day by day, decision by decision. Your future self will thank you for asking questions, for reading labels, and for never assuming that harmless always means safe. 1. Taking supplements without testing or guidance. This may be the most common and quietly dangerous mistake of all. Taking supplements just because. Just because a friend recommended it. Just because a label promised energy, immunity, or stronger bones. Just because it seemed easier than asking real questions. We live in a world that loves quick fixes. We're bombarded daily with ads, influencers, and well-meaning advice from every direction. Take this. Try that. But what we're rarely told is that supplements are not one-size-fits-all. Your body is not a generic system, it's a unique, ever-changing ecosystem that deserves more than guesswork. Frank, 69, is a perfect example. A kind, curious man who always wanted to stay ahead of health problems. He wasn't reckless, he was just overwhelmed. Over time, his supplement drawer grew. A few pills suggested by friends. A few he saw in YouTube videos. A couple from health blogs he skimmed at night. Some claimed to help bones, others for energy or sleep. But he never brought them up to his doctor, he didn't think he had to. Then one day, a small stumble in the backyard turned into a wake-up call. A bone scan afterward showed significant density loss. Frank was stunned. He'd been trying to protect his bones. But in reality, many of the supplements he took either had no effect, or worse, were masking symptoms of deeper issues. Some interfered with nutrient absorption. Some were dosed too high for his age. And others created imbalances that his body quietly paid for. The truth? Supplements can help, but only when taken with purpose. Not out of fear. Not because of flashy promises, but because your body needs something specific and you've confirmed it through testing, through guidance, through real care. Before starting anything new, pause and ask, is this right for me? Have I been tested? What is this solving, or is it just adding another layer of confusion? Because behind every strong, steady step you take in the future, is a series of mindful choices made today. Your bones are more than a structure, they are a living reflection of how you nourish yourself, how you rest, how you trust, and how you listen. Let them tell a story not of confusion, but of clarity. Not of chasing trends, but of intentional care. Not of panic, but of peace. And most importantly, let your future self be able to say, I didn't just do what was popular. I did what was right for me. So here's what we've learned. When it comes to your health, more isn't always better. And even the most loving, well-meaning efforts can sometimes lead us astray. if we don't stop to ask why we're doing what we're doing. In a world full of noise, endless recommendations, shiny bottles, miracle promises, it takes quiet strength to pause, to question, to choose wisdom over urgency. And that strength, it's already inside you. Your bones have carried you through so much. They've held you upright through laughter and tears, through nights of loss and mornings of hope, through the everyday beauty of simply being alive. They deserve more than guesswork. They deserve care rooted in understanding and love. So if any part of this message spoke to something inside you, let it be an invitation. An invitation to slow down, to open that supplement drawer with fresh eyes, to bring your questions to your doctor not just for answers, but for partnership, to stop doing things just because, and start doing them because they're right for you. What am I taking? Why am I taking it? Have I truly checked if my body needs it? These are not questions of fear. They are questions of freedom. Freedom to take ownership. Freedom to make choices that serve your whole, beautiful, aging body. Because your body is always listening. To every pill, every habit, every act of care or neglect. And the good news? It also listens to change, to healing, to a new chapter written with more clarity and less clutter. So take care of yourself not because you're broken, but because you're worth it. You always have been. And your future self, stronger, wiser, more vibrant than ever, will thank you. Take care. You've earned it. You always have.